Hey, what's up, everybody? Got some pickups and some more garage finds to show you guys. So, start with one of the pickups from my friend John at Video Game World. He spotted this at Goodwill and snagged it for me. And these seem to be somewhat rare. Not all that valuable, but definitely getting on the rarity side. So I couldn't find too many of them on eBay. But, cool, even if it's non-functional. And they did make one of each character, and they both do the same thing. He's holding it in. It's the farting part of him doesn't work. I guess there's a squeeze bulb in here, and then the whoopee cushion part feels like it went into his tail, and it's all crackly, so I'm figuring everything dried up. Otherwise, he's in pretty damn good shape. Face still looks good. Pretty cool thing, man. First one I've seen other than online. Next thing, and this I need help with. I don't know if it is for woodworking or something else. It is a really weird tool. It's almost like you'd have some hosing hooked up to it for like a shutoff type valve, but it's all carved out of wood, two pieces. Anyways, here's what it is. This piece comes out. That is all hollow, which goes up into here. This is also hollow, and then there's a hole there. It's like you'd have it together like this and have maybe a piece of hosing coming off, and then stick this into something for like a tap. I just don't know what it would be. So, anybody knows what it is, man, send me a comment. I'd really appreciate it. Cool find nonetheless. Now something else from the garage, and these I'm in the process of trying to fix them up. I got another pair that my dad had someplace in this room that are in better shape, but I kind of like these better. They just got a cool look. Anyway, it's kind of half-assed put together here. Found some old Bakelite work goggles, but what's cool is they have shaded lenses. So the other lens, the ring here has got a crack in it, and there was tape around it. Really old tape, so I'm having a hard time getting it to come off. Probably just need to soak it in Goo Gone or something. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, they're tinted green, so just kind of cool. Almost like old school welder's goggles. Definitely have that steampunk look, and I like how they did the grills on the side. The ones my dad have are the typical mesh. I've never seen ones where it's got that kind of grill work in it. And then it opens up to the inside of the goggle, I guess to keep moisture out or whatever while you're working. Might show those again once I get them all fixed up. Shouldn't take too much. And this, old, but I don't know how old, and I don't know if it was originally like this or if he made it like this, but another old light. The socket says Bryant. Bryant. Made in USA, so that tells you it's old. Started cleaning up on it. Still got a bit more to go. For some reason, he had tape wrapped around it too. Maybe he had another one of those lamp type shield things over it for like a work light. Otherwise, not in bad shape. The difference between this and that last one I showed, this one I'm thinking the internals are Bakelite. They're not ceramic like the other. Otherwise, cool little clamp on light. Alright. On to sharp pointy things. Went ahead and took a trip down to Havasu last week. Didn't know that they had a Goodwill that had opened up there. And big Goodwill store, but on video games, just the usual crap. A lot of sport games, just nothing good. And not much of anything else, mostly clothing. So hunted around at some other places and found a fairly newish gun store that had opened up. And this is pure luck, man. Anybody that collects these, if they don't have them, ask. You never know if they're going to have some in a back room. And that was the situation with this. And for what it is, I got it for pretty cheap. Anyways, got myself an M1 Grand Bayonet, short variation. And this is not one of the long ones that's been cut down. And it is stamped AFH, American Fork and Hoe, and then US with the flaming bomb logo in the sheath. It just says, has a flaming bomb logo with US stamped on it. It's pretty cool. They'd had an older one, but it had sold. They only had one out, so I'll have to check them next time I take a run to Havasu and see if they pick up any more. Anyways, got this for $50. Figured that was a good price. These, maybe about $80 and up on what I've been seeing. Depends on the maker and the quality of it, which this one's in pretty good shape. At least came back with something, otherwise no video game stuff, man. I think there's a lot of collectors that have moved in around my area and they're just buying the stuff up like crazy. Okay, now speaking of game systems, this John got it in. He didn't know what to do with it. He's not familiar with it. And it did have games with it. I'm not going to show the games. There was like a handful of just mediocre type ones that I didn't have in my collection yet. Otherwise, I'd say about 18 games came with this system. Otherwise, the reason I grabbed it is because this one is a different variation than my others. Got another Magnavox Odyssey 2, and the difference on this one is this has the raised logo. My other ones have the silk screened. And also the circuit board is just slightly different. More like some of the resistors and stuff are just not really in different locations, but just kind of twisted in different directions or whatever. So I was still able to modify this thing with AV cable. Mind me if I sound tired, man. I had the flu all weekend, so I'm just getting over it. I'm still pretty wiped out. But what worked really good, and I find them all the time, man. If you don't have one, just hunt around at thrift stores or just yard sales on the weekend. You can get them for cheap. Just took the cord off of a plug-and-play games and opened it up and broke the wires from the inside, and there was plenty of length on them. And then where the RF cable came out, I just did a little bit of grinding on it to get this to fit. So it fits in there nice and tight and makes it look like it belongs on the system. Otherwise, not in bad shape. And on that, didn't pay cash for it. I've been bringing him in stuff to do on trades or for credit or whatever, so I can't remember what he charged me for it, but it wasn't much. Most of the people that come into his store, and this seems to be the thing, man, everybody's wanting Nintendo stuff. Anything older than that, it's kind of like somebody my age or maybe in their 30s might want it, but anybody else, it's pretty much just Nintendo. Which, cool enough, man. That means I get the really old stuff. So, where to put damn things? Another gradge find here. Just figured I'd show these because they're kind of interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Not really anything I can use, but cool. It's for anybody that's into photography. Got some old cameras. Let's see, there's some old stuff in here too. Yeah. One of these is older than the other. One of them even has the book. Let's see if it says what it is. Okay, these are called exposure meters. That's to do with adjusting your camera for how much light you want coming into it. So it's basically a little meter that measures the amount of light in the room or whatever, so you know where to adjust your camera. This is the older one. Looks like it's made by, I think, Calamar. That's the one I got the book for. These are more like a collector's thing now. I really don't know if anybody would use these or not, unless you're really into vintage photography, where you're out using the cameras. Otherwise, they're pretty much obsolete. There's the book. This one has a nice little leather pouch. It's kind of beat up. Otherwise, things in good shape. Get this light adjusted better. A little better there. Anyways, little flip up lid here. And those they look like LEDs, but they're not. It's however it's made to collect the light. Like if I hold this up to a light bulb, the little meter will start working on it. So it doesn't take much. It was kind of a cool little retro find. And got another one here. This one is made by Psychonic. Yeah. This one's definitely newer. Kind of the same thing there. Just doesn't have a cover on it. And on the cameras, for anybody who wants to know, man, I have no clue on the value of these, other than that they're both made in Germany. I'm pretty sure they're 35 millimeter. I think. I don't know. I just don't know much about photography. This one just says made in Western Germany. And it is made by Dejur, D-E-J-U-R. And this nice little protective leather pouch. Yeah, let's just keep it in there. There's one of them. Old, but not old enough to be really valuable, so don't know. Something where you'd have to find the right person. We got another one here that is made by Tower. This one just says made in Germany on it. Pretty good shape. So anyways, on other stuff, said, man, I'm getting sick this weekend, and it was cold. I have not been hitting any yard sales or swap meets. Just too damn cold, so pretty much nothing out there other than what John might get in. So might hit him up sometime this week and see if anything news came in, and maybe I'll do another video. Otherwise, that's it for this one. I say, man, if anybody knows what this is, throw me a comment. Catch y'all later.